wanted to come on and give you a little bit of an update about what I'm doing here in Paris. First of all, just want to say thank you to everyone who has donated over the last couple of weeks. You're an answer to prayer. Thank you for being obedient to the Lord. It's helping, and there's fruit. There's totally fruit that's going to be born from what you're sowing into me. So let me just explain a little bit about what I'm doing here, what I'm going to be doing here in France. So I hadn't released this yet, but because I wanted to pray about it a little bit more, and I wasn't, to be honest, it was like one of those things where I wasn't really 100% sure if this is what God was doing, but and sometimes, you know, there's a friend of mine who went to Bethel with me, and she says, sometimes when God gives you stuff, you just let it marinate. You know, it's like, you don't necessarily tell everybody, you just sit with it and just pray about it and let it germinate and do, birth vision inside of yourself. Because if you can get a prophetic word all you want to, but if it's not true in you yet, then it's going to be hard for you to step into what God is calling you to. So I want to share with you something that the Lord gave me actually when I was still in New York. And this is when I was serving at Global Celebration School of Ministry. It was one of the last classes from the fall semester, or excuse me, the winter semester this year. And I think it's spring, actually. What am I saying? It was earlier this year. I was sitting in the back of class, and I went into this vision, and in the vision, I saw a picture of the Parisian flag, red, white, and blue, and it was waving, and it was really close to my face, almost like it was waving in my face like that, and it was touching my face. I could physically feel it. And then I heard the Lord ask me if I would help to release the prophets in France. And for those of you who aren't necessarily familiar with prophetic ministry, essentially, it's sort of a big deal. It's a huge undertaking, especially where you know you don't really know people and you don't really have like contacts or anything. And so I wasn't sure if that was really the Lord. I guess now that I look back on it, I go, okay, well, that was, you should have known. But now that things are beginning to develop, it's super exciting, but it's also really humbling that that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So essentially, I hadn't shared this vision with anyone. I hadn't shared this with anyone. I just kind of sat on it. I wanted it to marinate and do whatever it needs to do. And I just was like, okay, God, I don't even know what to do with this. I don't even know how to start this, you know. And I just want to encourage you that just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean that God's not going to do it. So fast forward maybe about a week or so ago, I was sitting down with my good friend Daniela. If you don't know who she is, she's singing on my Facebook page. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. She's fantastic and just a wonderful, amazing woman of God. I'm sitting with her in her home, and we're having a conversation, and I share this with her, and she looks at me and she's like, you know, I totally have a heart for that. She has this cute little apartment in Paris, in the city proper. And so I'm sitting there and she's just sharing this with me, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Okay. Now she's like, now I understand why the Lord connected us. And so, she said, and you know, I know probably a bunch of other people who will totally be interested in this too. And I was sharing with her how I had done, like small group trainings and I've also done training at conferences on the prophetic and so on and so forth. And so, it was really amazing and awesome that we were connected because we both had a similar vision for this. And so, again, if you heard any of my earlier videos, God will always confirm what he's doing, even if it seems bigger than what you can make happen for yourself. And so I totally was like, okay. So her and I just sort of chatted about it. She made a couple contacts, and now we're going to be partnering with some other people here in Paris and doing what we call a night of encouragement. It's based off of the principle of Barnabas. For those of you who don't know, Barnabas was the homie of Paul. Who he worked with Paul when Paul started his public ministry. And he was actually the one that gave Paul the prophetic word that called him into ministry. And essentially his name means encouragement. And that's what we're going to release here in Paris. We're going to start nights of encouragement to help people to, one, be trained and activated in the prophetic, two, to have a safe place to practice, and three, to give them, to give those who actually have experience with it a safe place to go deeper into what God is showing them and deeper into revelation. And so we're partnering with some people here in the city, and I'm super excited about it. God is moving really fast with this. So our first night is going to be on October 17th. We've invited a small group of people because we really wanted to, just partner with people who actually had a similar heart. And we're going to help people to get stirred up and activated in the prophetic. And I'm very excited to do that. So yeah, that's what's been going on here. I've been here approximately 30 days. It's crazy. I left New York on September 5th, and here it is October 5th, and God's already very much sparking the first embers of what he wants to do here in France. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited for what God is going to do in Paris. And so I just wanted to come on and sort of update you and ask for your prayers. One, there's been a lot of just mistrust of the prophetic. It's been misused and people have felt manipulated by it. And so my first prayer request is that there would just be healing in the hearts. That's actually something that I specifically love going after. I love going after people's hearts that have been hurt in the prophetic and helping them to heal and helping them to begin to trust the Lord again. So, because it's not so much about you trusting the prophetic minister as much as it's about you trusting the Lord again. And so I'm super excited for that. Two, there's also a lot of skepticism. People tend to, in Western societies tend to go towards, logic and reasoning. And so I'm just praying that there will be an openness to what God wants to do here. And lastly, I am praying for financial provision myself. So if you feel led to sow into what God's doing here, I just would encourage you to do so. As always, there's a link to PayPal that sends the funds directly to me. And it's been helping so much. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's already donated so far. You have been a blessing and a godsend. Thank you for having a vision for what God wants to do here. But he's doing it. And what was really awesome is that, like, I just released what I felt like God had said, and I released that vision, and all of a sudden it was like everything fell right into place. I didn't even do anything. She was like, yeah, my friend Danielle was like, I contacted this person and they're totally interested, and what do you think about this date? And I was like, what? I was like, wow, that's crazy. And so he totally, just from that vision that happened in New York City, he's totally igniting a group and a heart of people who are interested in learning this aspect of his giftings and his kingdom. So I just want to say, I wanted to come on and do that update. Also, I feel like it's really important for me there's been a number of people who have actually contacted me either via Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever for me to pray for them. And I'm always happy to do that. And so I feel like if there's anyone that would like to be connected to, would like prayer for anything, I would love to do that. So feel free to reach out to me, email, private message, whatever. I'm happy to do so. So bless you guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time.